Yo, welcome to B-Boy Tech Report. This week we're talking about the KRK ROKIT 6 Generation 3 powered studio monitors. Let's get into it. There's three of these studio monitors. There's the 5-inch, there's the 6-inch, and there's the 8-inch. So that's indicative to the actual cone, the woofer that's in each of them. So the 5-inch has a 5-inch cone, the 6-inch has a 6-inch cone, and of course the 8-inch has the 8-inch cone, right? So that's a smaller one, a mid-grade, and a larger one. So that's the KRK. These are the Generation 3s. Now, I gotta be honest, I never had KRK monitors. I've looked at them before. I see them all the time in Beatmakers Labs. I see them all over the place. I didn't know until I actually had them shipped over here that they're the most popular and the best-selling monitors across the world, studio monitors. That's probably because all the EDM and all the hip-hop beat makers out there that are using these things, because I see them everywhere, like I said. So the ones that I actually reviewed this time were the ROKIT 6s, right? So these are the 6-inch cone. You could probably see right behind me there, the ones that you know from the bright yellow cone in there. They have the base port right in the front, and that's important for dudes that's in like the bedroom producers, the basement producers, or cats that just have a room that like this is, that you could put your studio stuff in. You want that base port or that air port or whatever they call it. It's the port that relieves the air. It opens up the casing of the monitor so that the air, when the woofer's moving, it relieves the pressure of the air, so the air comes out of there. So some people call it a base port, some people call it an air port. At any rate, that's on the front, and that's important for people that kind of do the whole bedroom production, basement production thing, because most times the rooms are small. When the base port is in the back or the air port is in the back, then you'll find that you get all this trapped bass, low frequencies in the corners and stuff, and you can't have your it's not recommended that you have monitors with the base port in the back too close to a wall, right? So you have to be pulled out away from the wall, and if your room is not that big, you can't do that. So that's one of the things that I really like about these monitors and a couple others, but these in particular, is they have the base port on the bottom and the front. And that allows the air pressure to be relieved from the front, and the bass frequencies not to get trapped in behind you and make you believe that there's more bass or less bass or muddy bass than there really is. So that's definitely a positive. It's worth noting that these are powered monitors. That's important to know. It may be more common nowadays, but back in the day, and that's not too long ago, it was pretty common to, when you buy studio monitors, you have to buy an amp with them. And then, so you know, you have whatever your price is for the monitors, $250, $500 each, but then you have $300 you have to spend on a actual amp to give the monitors power and amplify them. Then you have a knob in the middle. I had that whole setup with some older monitors. These are powered monitors, so they actually have a power cord that goes into them. They have an amp built in to each one of them. So they're independent, but obviously they're a pair. And for those of you that don't know, the proper way to set monitors up is, I mean, obviously the wording is the way you read it. The woofer is on the bottom, tweeter is on the top. I see some people with theirs set sideways, or I mean, I don't know, all kinds of weird angles and stuff, but the proper way is straight up and down, and you want to go in the angle of where your hearing is. There's a center point between the tweeter and the woofer that's right about here, and that's supposed to be aiming right about at your ears. So it would be like as if it was a triangle. The monitors sit at this corner of the triangle, right, in front of you, and they angle in towards your head, and that's ideally right about at the height of your ears. So that's the way you want to set your monitors up, and the reason that is because between the woofer and between the tweeter, that's the place where the frequencies make that perfect harmony, to get that perfect mix, right? So that's the best thing you can do for yourself. So I know that a lot of us don't have treated rooms, but you know, what can you do? You do what you can do with what you have. So I know that I do have some bass traps. I'm not always sure that they do what they need to do, but it does make a difference that airport is in the front, and if you have your monitors angled right, you get the full sound. Now, the first thing I noticed about these KRKs is when I turned them on, it was like, whoa, that's not the usual really flat response that I'm used to. But for beat makers and cats that's doing like boom bap or even EDM, you want to hear that pound, that bang, and these definitely have more bass than the average monitor. But it's not muddy, it's still clear. So that's what's really cool about it. As a matter of fact, I make music all the time. I always have made music, I mean, since the 90s. And when I turned these boys on for the first time, it actually woke up some people in the crib here. So that tells you a little bit. These joints bang. And so they did a good job of making these. And now what I understand is most people have the 5-inch ones. I have the 6-inch ones, and then there's an 8-inch pair. Plus there's a subwoofer that you can go with any one of the pair. I hear that the 8-inch woofers have like I hear that the 8-inch Rokits, or the Rocket 8s, I guess they would be called, are even more bassy, or have a more. So let's go around the back of the monitors. The back of the monitors have 3 inputs that you can use. It has the 1/4-inch connection, you know, for this particular cable, the 1/4-inch connection, but you want to use the, they are actually balanced TRS cables. So it has that connection there. It also has the XLR connector. That's what I'm using with them. And it also has, which I'm not sure if this is typical or not, it has the RCA connection. Now what the manual basically says, the RCA is recommended for things like your iPod direct connections, DJ equipment, or computer connection. I see pictures too of DJs taking these out. They'll have them on the table with their DJ equipment, and they just go directly into them. So that's pretty cool. You get a little bit of variety in how you can connect them. Beyond that, what's on the back is the power switch. I don't know if I dig that. Now I say that because you can see where this is placed here. That's the way my monitors are. I would like to just be able to reach over, click, hit the switch, but I can't do that. I actually have to go around, reach around the back. It's actually on that side. Reach around the back and hit the power switch. That's the downside to me about these monitors, that you have to kind of reach around the back to hit the power switch. I would prefer it there on the front, or some other kind of way. I don't know. I'm not a designer or anything, but that's not my preference to have them. So also on the back you have 3 knobs. That's the volume knob, that's the high frequency knob, and that's the low frequency knob. Now each one of those knobs have different settings, and they're all set to flat, which means 0 at the volume, 0 gain. You're still gonna hear something because it goes negative and it goes positive. And -5, it's +3 and -5, I believe, is the connection. And then you have the other 2 which control the frequency. So you have your high frequency, you can put that up, it's by default set to flat. You could put that up to get a more clear sound, or you could pull it down. It's all in preference, and also not just in preference, but how your room handles different frequencies. So some of you may want to set that to a much lower high frequency, and others may want to set it to the much higher high frequency. And the same goes for the low frequency knob. Now this one in particular you may want to watch out for. If you check out the manual, you'll know that you want to pull bass down, so you may want to put it to, I think is -1. They have a -1 and a -2 setting. So if you're near a wall, you want to put it to a -1. So that pulls the bass down, because near a wall you're going to get some bass trappings, and you may get a deceiving idea of what the bass is. If you're near a corner or a window, I think they said, you want to pull it even further down, because more bass gets trapped, and then pulling it down kind of helps you adjust it, so you're hearing a real true sound of what you're actually listening to. And that's super important when you're out there making bass heavy music. I mean, hey, trap music with all those 808s jumping around. For those of you that are planning on getting the IRA joint with the drum machine and all that, cats like me that love mono synths, EDM cats, hip hop cats, boom bap cats, you gotta be careful about that bass, or else when you take your music into the truck or to the whip or to the club or whatever, it won't translate well. So that's what's cool about these monitors. You got those knobs that you can kind of tune them to your room, is really what it's about. Most people are gonna be like, well, I just want to turn the bass up, I don't want to turn the fruit. You want to be careful about that. This is monitoring. Be real easy about that. Now, these are pretty flexible monitors, so you can kind of tune them to your room, and that's a huge plus. So that is the KRKs in a nutshell. Now, how do they sound? They sound great. Now, I'll tell you, I don't review everything. Some things I don't review. There's some things that that are pending reviews because I just got to get around to it. You know, I'm juggling a few things. And the reason I say that is because I only review things if I really dig them. I'll tell you the pros and cons, but 9 times out of 10, if I'm reviewing it, you know I like the product. So I do like this product. It's a good piece, and they're probably not as expensive as you would think they are. I think, and I could be wrong here, but I'll leave it to the screen on the bottom where you can see the prices for this. I think these are $150 or $199 each, and I think they go up to maybe $250 or $299 each for the bigger ones, and then the woofer is just a couple $100, the sub that you can get for it. So like for $300 or so, you can have the smaller pair, the 5-inch pair, for, I don't know, close to $500, if that much. I don't know, maybe just like $350 or something. You can $350, maybe $400. You can have these Rocit 6s. Now these, I mean, it's a huge sound. You'll love them, you'll benefit from them, and as long as you tune them right, you'll get really good sound quality out of them. So what I love about them is the fact that they're bass heavy but clear. Now, what I'm used to on my other monitors are really flat response, and I work with them. It's good, but you know, sometimes you need an alternate source so you can kind of really see what you're working with. That's why you'll see guys in the studio, they take what they're working with here, they go out to the whip, and they'll turn it up in the whip so they can get a KRK ROKIT 6. I believe they're the Generation 3s, and damn, I'm gonna hate to see them go. Maybe I won't even let them go. All right, B-Boy Tech Report, stay tuned. We got a lot of good stuff coming to you. Peace.